Hello, welcome all to Illuminate SQL series. So from this fifth video, we will start the main SQL querying language. It's the most awaited language. Let's start. We have kind of created the employees database. So here we have the employees database, and the employees database has all the required tables for us to start querying. So let me go open the SQL script. Okay, so this is a fresh script. So as we have discussed, first, because there are too many databases on the left hand side, schemas here, employees schema, we have example DB, we have my new database. So these are things which we have created in the previous sessions, which you can watch. Okay, so here we are, from now we are going to use employees to learn the SQL querying. So use employees and then control enter. So use employees. Now from the time we are writing use employees, now we'll be using employees as the schema. So now the tables and the views, whatever is available inside employees schema, can be called and can be used for further querying, right? So let's see how to start. So we'll go from the very basic, that is, we'll start from the select. So as you might be knowing, or you might be a very fresher to this SQL as a language. So where do we start? So this is the place where we start from. So we have select as a first letter or first word. Select. What to select? So there are a couple of things that we can do. So we should understand select star is something which we call the entire thing, all the columns. Select star from. From is another keyword that we use to call it from which place, which table. So here we have different tables. Say for example, we say titles. You can put any. So as you write it, you see, and you can press tab, it will automatically pick titles, right? So if you put this, there might be a lot of columns, a lot of rows in this. We have kept don't limit over here, so that might happen. So for now, just I'm entering this, control and enter, so it's executed. So you can see there are a lot of columns, right? So this is the employee number, this is the title, from date and to date. So this is a title. See, we have columns. We have these 4 columns. The same 4 columns are visible on the output, which is visible here. So this is what is available. What we can do is we can export this as in a CSV, and we can start our analysis from here. We have not limited to any of this. So how many rows do we have? You see, 4,43,000 rows are returned. Now, just to give you an idea, in this MySQL you can use limit as a function. Limit 10. Earlier we had 4 lakh rows. As I put limit 10 and then I run this again, so now you see you have only 10 rows that are returned. So this is just to get an idea of which are all the rows or which are all the columns and what is the kind of data that is available inside this particular table. So this query will get executed very fast. See, the time to get the output for this limit 10, the top 10 rows, is 00 seconds. That's within milliseconds. See, but here it took 0.031 seconds, right? So this took at least some time. So think of if there are millions of rows. Okay, that means you are consuming a lot of processing power for this. Is it really required? Then go and do it. If not, if your purpose is just to check the table, then go ahead and do a limit onto the query. Right? That's one method. There are a lot of other methods which will come in place when we go further into this, right? So now we are kind of learning the very basics. So we can just select columns. So for example, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, right? Now let's go to another table, employees. So if you go to the tables, you have some tables, right? Some columns. So let's write down employee number. comma, birth date. Okay, I'm just picking 2 columns or maybe 3 columns, first name also. Okay, you should not make any typo. From, this time employees, yeah, employees. Okay, and then as we have learned, we have limit 10 because there will be too much data, because these are actual database kind of size that we are using. I've just made it beautify, so now you see the readability has improved. This is how it's written. Now we press say Control Enter. Now we have executed the 3 columns in the order that we have called. So if you see, if I call employee number as a second column here, so this is how, if you mention it here, then what will happen is, see the output, you had employee number in the first row. Now if you run it, you got it the second. So you can purposefully put some columns in the second or third place wherever you actually require, if this is how you write the query. So you can mention the column names and you can get the output. So this is another method. Now there is something which you can also do, use an alias name. So in the place of birth date, say if you want as birth date as birth time, something like that, birth time. Okay, now if you want this to happen, then if I press Control Enter, now see the name is now birth time. So you can use a name that is not the exact name that is available as a column name, so you can replace those names as well, right? So next we have the third important line that we add to the above. So here select and from we have learned. The next important part is to add where clause to this, right? That's the important thing here. So adding a where clause to the above statement. So for example, we have these many first names in this, or these many employee names in this, employee numbers in this. So let's go back to the titles column, right? So title is what we say, executive, senior executive, those kind of terminologies given to each of the employee, right? So how to use a where clause? So now let's select everything, all the columns. Now that we have understood, we can give the particular column names in an order or in any order and call it from a table and get the output with limit or without limit. This is what we have understood. Now select star, then say from titles, right? Now we add where. The order in which we are learning this and the order in which we have to write this, select, from, where, this is important, right? And every time you write it, you get to know that this is coming in blue. In some other language, maybe in some other interface that you're going to use, dbeaver or maybe Microsoft SQL Server, all of those places, it might differ, but you will get to see some kind of a color which is given to these functions, select, from, where, right? If there is an error, it will show like you have not completed this, it's a cross mark is coming. So you should understand from this that there is something which is incomplete or there is something which is not correct. So we'll have to do that. Where what I'm going to do here is we have a column employee number. Yeah, so I'll put emp underscore no number equal to, this was a integer column, so I'll just put this employee number 1001001, right? You can try with any other one just for practice. This, okay, so let me just put this and now we'll put a control enter over this. See, for this particular employee 10001, the title is senior engineer and the title has been there from this particular, from date to this date, right? So there's no change, so you can type any employee and you can check. Okay, this is staff. Okay, so this is senior engineer. So likewise you can try for any other employee as well. Now if I put say in the place of this, let me just copy this and we'll do one more. In place of where employee number, let's put title, and then let's put title equals to, now within quotes, because title is not an int anymore, not an integer anymore, so let's put senior engineer, right? So we'll build on top of this again and again, right? Now we are just in the head start of learning SQL as a language, right? Now you see, we have not put any limits, so we have got 97,750 rows. Keep this in mind. This is what the number of senior engineers we have in this particular organization. Not sure of because this can be correct, this can be incorrect, this particular thing which I am saying. Why? Because it's not that all employee numbers are unique or not. So there might be a employee number for which the designation has changed from senior engineer to maybe assistant manager to the manager to senior manager or something like that. So we're not sure if these are the accurate number of employees with senior engineer's position. And this might also change if the particular senior engineer position was valid from one date to another date. Now the employee is not a senior engineer anymore. He has been promoted, right? So all those conditions prevail. So we'll have to think from all of those directions before answering a particular question, right? As a data analytics engineer, data analyst, you should keep all of these things in mind, that whatever you are seeing by writing this query, is the output correct or not? You'll have to think and come up with that. So now we have completed where, and then we have used a particular thing like single statement in this where. Now let's add something more to this. Okay. This time let's take another table, employees as a table, and let's go with, say, first name. So for that, first let me just do a select from employees. Okay, just to get an idea of what are the column name or what are the names that are available, right? So okay, so now we have this. Now we are again going to use where, but this time around we are going to include a clause and to it, right? So this is what we are building on top of what we are learning again and again. So let's do a select again. So hope you will also practice alongside, so that you kind of learn everything in SQL from start to end when we complete the entire series in SQL. So select star from all the columns, from employees again, employees, okay, where we have already used where let's do first name, okay, tab equals to, within quotes we'll put same which name do you want? Pato. Okay, let's do Pato. And then and now you can add any number of and then give conditions again and again. Now the where clause will check for all of these conditions if it is an and if it is an or and an or, right? If it is an or, it will check either of conditions if one of the condition is met or not. So let's do both, like put and then let me put gender equals to male, right? So we are looking for Pato as a first name and male. Let's see if there are a couple of people or only one, right? So there are first name Pato, and the last name is changing for all of these people. So the first name refers to Pato and the gender is male, right? So we have these many people. How many? 141 rows are returned for this particular query, right? So as we know, this employee table has unique employee numbers. So for this particular table, we are quite sure that we have 141 male employees with first name as Pato in the organization. So we're quite sure on that, right? Now if you put or let's see if the results change. Now how many rows do we have? We have 1,80,000 rows. What changed in this? So both the conditions are coming. Now either the first name is Pato or it is a male. So you see, there will be no females at least, but you can see all males over here. So you're getting all the males and also males who are Pato, first name with Pato. So both are coming up. So now you're getting or as a condition, right? So or is kind of either this or males is gender is male. So both conditions, it's not checking both conditions are satisfied at a time, but only any of one condition is satisfied at least. So that is what is or. Now hope you are clear with and or. So we have come now from the first one, first one goes as select, okay, as a function. Second one is from, this is standard. Third one is now we use where, and within where we can use and we can also use or we can also use combination of these things, right? All of these conditions are possible. So this is what we have done till now. Okay, let's also check the combination of both using and or and how the result varies. Let's see. So let's do a select star from same employees. Okay, where let's put any other first name that you want to recommend. Let's do a first name equals to G-O-E-O-R, Georgie. Okay, Georgie, and let's put gender male. Now let's do an or gender female. Now let's do a control enter on this particular query. Now what has happened? Let's see. How is it taking precedence? You see male and you see female both, right? If I click on this column, you see a whole lot of female candidates, employees, and a whole lot of male employees, right? Both are available. You see Georgie as a name and you see other first names as well, right? You see all of those, A, B, C, all the first names, and you have like 1,20,000 rows. So what is happening now? It's seeing, and if you particularly focus over here, what is that you can see? All male genders that we are seeing here are with first name Georgie. See, there's no female Georgie over here. Is it that there is no female Georgie first name at all? No, that's not the case. It might be, but that's not the case here. We have first name Georgie and gender male. So what has actually happened is, how the precedence has been taken here is the first name which we have put here and the condition this has gone in first. So these two and this has checked both of these conditions are qualified or not. So that is the first thing, or only the gender has female. So now the output contains all employees who are female and also the output of this particular first name is Georgie and the gender is male. So this is what's happening. Now let us try changing this with something like, and then control enter. Now you see the output, we have only 253 rows. What's happened now is, now I've specifically mentioned don't take precedence in a default way, but take it in a way like first name should definitely be Georgie. So we have now only the first name Georgie. If you click on this, see there is no change. That means there are no other characters other than Georgie. So it's only Georgie, and along with that it can be gender male or it can be a female. Now you see, you have male as well as you have female. So all the first names with Georgie, we have like 253 employees with first name Georgie. So it is a combination of male and female as well. So now I think you will be very clear about how it takes precedence, how we can use it separately, like how to use or, how to use and, how to use brackets to set precedence according to our intuition, all of those.